and welcome everyone. We're super excited by this. Been working on our mobile support for over 2 years now, so it's a long time coming and excited to finally unveil it. So I'll start with just a few slides just to kind of give some background on myself, the company, and our mobile offering, and then jump into a demo, and then, yeah, as Sean said, leave plenty of time for your questions. So I'll share here. So I'm at Arbesfeld. I'm co-founder and CEO here. A technical background originally. I was at Google and Meteor, and was one of the original engineers working on it, and also helped start the mobile offering. So can answer any technical questions that come up as well. For those familiar with LogRocket, a lesser known fact is that actually the first support for LogRocket 6 years ago was actually for React Native apps. So we actually started building LogRocket for React Native and switched to web maybe a few months into development. So our roots have been in mobile since day one, and we're excited about the ability to finally bring LogRocket support to mobile apps. About the company, many of you are customers or prospective customers. So yeah, thank you for joining and thank you for being customers. We were founded about 6 years ago, have raised over 30 million from top venture capitalists, Battery Ventures and Matrix Partners, and now over 2,300 customers worldwide. So super excited, and yeah, thank you all for our customers who have supported us throughout the years. So LogRocket Mobile, it's the same great support that you've come to expect from LogRocket for web apps, now for native mobile, for React Native, eventually for Flutter. Same session replay and network logs and console logs, as well as all the metrics and issues. So we'll jump more into the demo momentarily, but everything you love about LogRocket for web is now for LogRocket for mobile. And currently we have support for React Native, Expo, as well as vanilla Android iOS. Swift UI is coming soon, and then Flutter is also on the roadmap. So thank you for filling out that poll, and we're planning to continue to add support for new frameworks, and whatever new framework they come up with next year, will be top of mind for us as well. Yeah, and finally, without further ado, we'll jump into the demo. So if you navigate into your LogRocket console, within the installation, you'll now see a new section for mobile applications. Currently, this is showing options for Android and React Native installation, and then our iOS support's in beta and will be available in this dashboard next month, but you can reach out to us for support before then. In terms of installation, it's the same super straightforward installation that you've come to expect for web, but for mobile. So all it takes is adding a single SDK to your Android or your iOS application, or in the case for React Native, adding the React Native package. So go here and you can follow the instructions. Similarly, as you do for web, within mobile, you'll be able to identify users, send user traits, send custom events. All the docs are linked here, so you can go and read them as you set up things. Once you're set up, you then start to see your mobile sessions come through. And so we have a few examples here for iOS and Android. And the cool thing is what we're doing here, we're not actually taking screenshots of the application and sending video. Like for web, we're actually capturing the underlying structure of the page and recreating what appears what the user was seeing. So we're capturing all the views, we're understanding what draw operations constructed those views, and we're essentially re-rendering it in a canvas here in the web playback. And what that enables is that it's a very performance, low bandwidth capture of the data, but you still have a very high fidelity playback experience. So this is an example for iOS, and then the same for Android. And along with this playback, we also capture all the network logs, all the front end and NS logs, and you can click in to view more information about this. So headers and bodies, you can see link to your backend traces as well. And then we're coming out with performance data here in the short term. And then finally, if there is a network failure, which we know are very common for mobile apps, people are on bad connections, they go in the subway, we can then also show you the frequency of those failures, and you can create metrics based off those. But we'll return back to this soon. And then super common question comes up is about privacy. So just like for web, you're able to redact any views that are sensitive. So you can add tags to your views to redact those from ever leaving the client side. So definitely encourage making sure you go through all the information and you're not sending anything sensitive to LogRocket. So that's the playback. Just like for web, you're able to see the full list of all your Android and iOS sessions and search by user and search by all your various filters here. But beyond just that reactive use case where someone has a problem and they reach out, we're also surfacing a variety of issues that are happening on the mobile app, and we're continuing to expand this month by month. So right now we're capturing all the errors, all the network errors, rage clicks, and frustrating network requests that are happening. And you're able to then review those here in the Issues tab and find problems that are affecting your mobile users. We can also integrate with your Crashlytics or other crash reporting tools. So you're able to go from a crash or an exception in those tools to viewing the recording within LogRocket. So you can either use our native reporting tools here, or you can link us to your existing crash reporting tool as well. In addition, because we're capturing all this data, our metrics capabilities also work for mobile apps. So I'll jump here to our mobile dashboard. So just like for web, you're able to create funnels, view heat maps, create time series data or tables based off the data within your mobile sessions. Common example here is your onboarding funnel. When users are first signing up for your mobile app, why are users falling out of that funnel? What issues are they running into? With LogRocket, you're able to create this funnel based off of custom events or clicks, and then you can drill into specific areas of drop-off. So for example, we see this 52% drop-off from event 2 to event 3. You're able to then go in, view the drop-off between steps 2 and 3. We'll then show you all sessions of examples of people who dropped off, as well as some various issues or problems that cause drop-off. So are there certain network errors or certain frustrating interactions that are causing that drop-off? This is a great view for your product managers or your growth marketers to go find issues with your funnels and then link that to the engineering team. In addition, you're able to build heat maps. You're able to see where are people clicking the most on your mobile app, where are they spending time. You can create time series of various errors or issues that are affecting users. You're able to identify your power users and see how maybe they first started using your app. And then you can also find things like the most common rage clicks. So where are people frustrated? What are some interactions that could be improved in the app? And overall, the same way you're able to use LogRocket to build a better experience on web, we'd like you to do that for mobile as well. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Well, we've got a handful of questions that have already come in. Just send another quick reminder. If you do have questions, please use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your Zoom window. But let's dive into a few of the questions that we've had so far. So first question here, Matt, is just around performance and network issues. Is there anything that LogRocket does that affects performance on mobile apps, and especially when a lot of users have poor internet access?
Yep, that's a great question. So because the way we're doing the view capture is we're just capturing the structure of the views, it's a very low bandwidth amount of data that we're capturing to actually create the reproduction. We're also intelligent about when we send data. So we're sending more of the data when the user's on a Wi-Fi connection. So all in all, the SDK should not affect your mobile performance. As always, we recommend testing it out, potentially starting behind a feature flag, ensuring that it's not affecting your customer experience before rolling out fully. But yeah, we've done a lot of work to ensure that SDKs are not degrading the performance or the bandwidth consumption for your customers.
Thanks, Matt. couple questions here around Expo, which I'll preface by saying for anybody who uses Expo or is interested in Expo and LogRocket, we are actually working on another webinar coming up next month with the Expo team. We'll be doing a deep dive there, but we can certainly talk about it a little bit here as well. Question here is around, do you know when or which Expo SDK version LogRocket will be included in? And then kind of part two there is, will we have to eject from Expo's managed workflow in order to use LogRocket?
Yep. So yeah, this would be a great topic for the Expo webinar coming up next month. But with the newest versions of Expo, they're designed such that you're able to add native code without having to eject from the Expo environment. So I think after this, we can share more docs about how that actually works. But as long as you're on the newer versions and using Expo EAS, you're able to add LogRocket without ejecting out of the Expo environments. And yeah, definitely encourage coming where hopefully we'll have the CEO of Expo join us to talk about that along with LogRocket.
But yeah, that was a nice little tee up there. So thanks for asking that question. Next one here, Matt. If we update our mobile app version, is there a need to replace the SDK with the new one in LogRocket each time?
So we're continuing to support older SDK versions and obviously give you plenty of notice if those were to go out of support. Always encourage staying up to date, but you shouldn't have to stay on the latest version for it to work. We will support older versions because we know, we all have apps. We all have older app versions, sometimes years old, that are still out there on devices. So we understand that it's not possible to update all your users' applications.
Quick question here, support for Bugsnag.
Yeah, so the great thing is the way the SDK works, it's easy to send LogRocket session metadata to tools like Bugsnag and Sentry and Rollbar. So yeah, absolutely we support Bugsnag as an integration. And you just want to take those LogRocket session links and send it to your Bugsnag as an event metadata. And you then be able to link from a Bugsnag exception into the LogRocket session.
Great. Another support question around WebView. Yes, no?
Yeah, so not currently. So currently the web views will just be sort of masked out from the session, but that is support we're looking to add in the near future. And one thing to add there is you can also always add the web SDK to your web view, though those sessions currently won't be linked. But if needed, you could always have your mobile recording the mobile part of the app and then the web SDK recording the web view, and you can then piece together the sessions that way. But we're looking to bring that in a unified view in the future. Great.
Thank you. While we're on the topic of integrations and what's supported and what isn't, can you talk a little bit about Sentry and how we work with them?
Yeah, so similar to Bugsnag, there are a lot of great exception management tools out there, Sentry being one of them. And so you're able to send those LogRocket session links into Sentry so that as you're triaging exceptions within Sentry and crashes, you can then watch the relevant sessions within LogRocket. So very similarly, in that exception or crash metadata, you can send the LogRocket session link and then have that from the Sentry crash report to then be able to view the LogRocket session associated.
Great. Let's see, next one here. This is, can LogRocket capture and display users' touch points when they're interacting with the app?
Yep. So yeah, you're able to see on Android currently where the user's tapping and touching, and iOS that's coming later this week is to be able to see their touch points. Then we also have the ability to show you a click map, so you're able to see the elements that the users are interacting the most with on the page.
Cool, thanks. Okay, let's see. Diving into some session replay stuff. This one says, Apple does not allow explicit screen recording. Can you talk about how this is different?
Yeah, so our understanding of that rule is that it's about capturing actual screenshots of the user and video of the user. Because we're capturing the set of user actions and recreating it, Apple has allowed our SDK and others that do this technique to be deployed to apps. That being said, we do recommend a more heavy-handed blacklisting of data. So making sure not to capture PII and capturing just enough information you need to be able to understand the high-level user experience. So definitely encourage, compared to web, being more heavy-handed with how you do your blacklisting, so you're not capturing any sensitive personally identifiable information.
Great, thanks. Here's a quick one that I can take to let you catch your breath for a second, Matt. One of the SDKs available. Android SDK is available now. We have it available in our docs, and you can also just go into your instance of LogRocket and find it. iOS, as I think Matt said at the beginning, is in beta. If you are interested in trying out iOS, just reach out to us, intercom, support@logrocket.com. Multiple ways to do it, and let us know that you're interested, and we can send over the SDK for you to start testing out. All right, Matt, back to you. Will we ever be able to internally host LogRocket Mobile? So I guess self-host LogRocket Mobile.
Yep, no, absolutely. So for those who don't know, LogRocket can be both our SaaS offering as well as a self-hosted offering where all the data can be stored within your own cloud infrastructure. So yeah, absolutely, we're excited to bring mobile support to that environment. Don't have an exact ETA, but something we're definitely on the roadmap.
Great, thanks. Next one here, somebody who's already using Pendo. Could you talk a little bit about how LogRocket can kind of work with Pendo and complement it in different kind of product analysis?
Yeah, there's a lot of different places. So one would be within the, for understanding funnels and feature engagement. So going from a funnel in Pendo and be able to view sessions and issues within LogRocket is a very common workflow that we see. We can also link up to the Pendo feedback and NPS tools. So if someone submits feedback or NPS through Pendo, maybe they say, oh, I can't find something, I'm having an issue. You can then go and watch the associated session within LogRocket. So there's definitely a lot of different places you can link it up. And we're continuing to work with the Pendo. We have an integration with Pendo. We're continuing to work with them to expand that integration over time.
Great, thanks. Next one, can we send custom attributes through SDK to be captured along with standard anonymous attributes?
Yep, yeah, so you can send custom user traits or custom properties on your events, and then use the LogRocket dashboard to filter and group by those elements, just like for web.
Next one here is around sort of targeting specific users and best practices there. So do most developers use a remote flag to turn on and off session recording for specific users, or is there a common practice around turning on session recording by default across all devices?
Yeah, I'd say the majority of our customers will have session recording on by default for all customers, but there are customers who will flag it on for certain cohorts of users, or as they're rolling it out, potentially for percentages. And so using a product like Launch Darkly or Split.io or another feature flagging product, that would be our recommendation for how to control those rollouts, just so you have the most fine-grained control over what users are recorded and make sure that it's consistent across sessions for each user. You could also build your own flagging, but that obviously is a little more technical work to do.
Great. And then just to kind of add on to that, obviously for web, we have our conditional recording feature if you want to get very granular with people who you're targeting when things are that are already live. You want to target people based on their characteristics, and I believe that's on our mobile roadmap as well, correct?
Yep, exactly. So, and our conditional recording lets you make sure that you have recording prior to when that flag gets turned on. So that's a great use case for, I want to capture, say, just errors or just people who run into a problem in a funnel. Our conditional recording can enable that. So that's coming soon for mobile as well.
Great. Here's a question I think we touched on a little bit earlier, but probably worth going into a little more detail around connectivity. And how does LogRocket work with apps when they're offline? Can we do anything when users are offline or in kind of bad service areas?
Yeah, so that's one of the big areas we've seen customers get value so far is we will save data offline as customers are maybe not on the internet. And then when they come back online, then stream up that data. And so a lot of issues can happen when customers are offline and in cases where it's difficult to test. So LogRocket can be used to validate that your product is working and troubleshoot issues within that case. So yeah, for the offline, we will store that data locally until the customer comes onto a Wi-Fi connection and then we're able to stream that up.
Great. Here's another one around privacy and compliance. Any requirements around notifying end users that LogRocket is being used on a mobile app?
So not that we've seen it. It really is up to your own privacy and compliance team. And what we've seen most teams do is treat this as they would an analytics product like an Amplitude or a Google Analytics and have it running in the background and potentially inform the user that you're doing this kind of recording. The next level would be to actually ask for your user's consent. And depending on your privacy and compliance stance, that is definitely something that you're able to build into the workflow. It really is up to you and your own organization about how you'd want to approach the session capture, as well as the amount of information and what you blacklist within the sessions. So I'd recommend sort of talk to your internal teams, figure out what makes sense, and then see how you're already handling things like your Google Analytics or your Amplitude or other sort of analytics data.
Right. Another one here around kind of privacy and just being a little more forward-looking. Any concerns that Apple or Google will start putting limitations on sort of session replay and other product analytics tools in the future?
Yeah, none of us have a crystal ball on this topic, and certainly that would, I think, hurt like both us as a vendor in the space, but also you all building apps and trying to improve customer experience by using that data. So hopefully they understand none of this is malicious or to spy on the users. The whole goal is to build better user experiences. So my hope is that there's enough there that there aren't more and more restrictions over time, but certainly something we can't predict about what will happen in the space. But in the meantime, our goal is help you build better experiences, but do it in a way that respects users' privacy and gives you controls to make sure you're not hurting the customer, hurting customer trust.
Right. All right, and then coming down to the last couple here. So if anybody else has questions, get them in now. But a couple more questions around Expo. We can certainly go into more detail around these in a couple of weeks when we do a deep dive. But Matt, if you have any kind of high-level thoughts on this, are we going to provide the Expo configuration plugin to add LogRocket to Expo managed services?
Yeah, let me see if I can show at least a sneak peek. So within the dashboard, if you go to the Expo tab, you can add the plugin here, and this would be for Android currently. So yes, but I think this would be a good topic to cover, and then definitely we can link the docs for this so we can go deeper. You can kind of review on your own, but feel free to reach out to support with any questions about setting up Expo. But we've worked with Expo for a year or so on this so that it works really seamlessly with Expo.
Great setup. We will go into plenty of detail in about a month or so. Be doing a deep dive on Expo and LogRocket together. So keep your eyes peeled for information about that. This looks like probably the last question of the day, Matt. Can you talk a little bit about pricing for mobile and how people can get started?
Yep. So for those who don't know, like at LogRocket, we really believe in transparency around pricing and making it easy to learn about what things cost. And so if you go into your LogRocket settings page and the plans page, you're able to see the pricing for your mobile sessions there. Those are priced as a different set of sessions than your web sessions. So you can separately have your mobile team and your web team have different session budgets. So yeah, definitely recommend going in there. And then we'll be exposing that on the website in the next month or so. So we're working on updating our website pricing page so you could share that with your finance colleagues or people who don't have access to LogRocket dashboard.
Yeah. And for anyone, I think for most of you here who have existing LogRocket accounts, we're offering 1,000 mobile sessions to everyone, so you can try it out and get your feet wet a little bit and see what it's all about before you dive into anything. So if that's what you're looking for, you can just hop into your plans page and you can add in the snippet and you can get going today. All right, Matt, I lied. There's one more question that snuck in around integrations, and we work with Mixpanel. And what does that look like?
Yep. So similarly, you can send your LogRocket sessions into Mixpanel to go view those sessions from your Mixpanel dashboard. To make it, we are working with a variety of the analytics providers on deeper integration. So keep an eye out, and Mixpanel is definitely one we're interested in. But yeah, you're able to at least go from your Mixpanel and view LogRocket sessions from within there. So you can link some docs on that as well.
Great. All right. Thanks a lot, Matt. Thanks to everybody who joined us today. Really excited to share this new product with all of you. We hope that you'll get ready to try it out. Like we said at the top, Android is available now. You can get started. iOS is in beta, but for anybody who's interested in trying it out, just reach out to us through Intercom, support at LogRocket, Carrier Pigeon, whatever your preferred channel is. Let us know and we'll set you up with the SDK and the documentation so that you can start testing it out. Last but not least, for anybody who joined a few minutes late and missed the beginning, we have been recording this. So if you want to go back and catch up on what you missed or just get a refresher on some of the things we covered today, we'll be sending out a recording along with a thank you email in the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. And with that, I think we'll start wrapping up. Matt, thanks so much for presenting and sharing and answering everyone's questions today. Everybody on the line, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, everyone. And thanks for your support. I'm Matt at LogRocket. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to send those to me. Love to hear how it's going, what you'd like to see from us, and just overall, I really appreciate all the support throughout the year. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.